cumulatively, the days that ASUU has been on strike, according to a report by Premium Times, I think in 2021, it's about 4 years. Like they've been on, if you calculate all the days they've been on strike and put it together over the last, since Nigeria attained this current democracy, it's 4 years of students staying at home instead of being in classroom learning.
Yes, I'm like, is online university a thing that's popping up now in Nigeria?
Oh, yes,
It was really challenging. Probably the semester starts 2 weeks, and that's kind of, I think it's a preamble, just preliminary stuff that, okay, you're just, talking to your friends who just came in, you're not really paying attention to class. Then they go on strike after 2 weeks. Whenever they come back, they're like, hey, we got to take the final exams for the semester. How do I know what you're going to teach me? So we had to, like you explained in one of our episodes, the rigorous, you got it. And it's essay, it's not like multiple choice. That's where multiple choice will be good.
I do what I want, I do what I like, I know what face, I know fear nobody.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Diaspora Chatter, the #1 podcast in the world. On this podcast, we talk about life in diaspora. We talk about our experiences. We talk about issues, news, anything going on. We're 3 Africans, Nigerians in the United States. My 2 co-hosts here, Mosi and Otis. What's going on, guys?
I'm glad to be back. Although the last episode, Mo wanted to go first, but I chose to go first today again. We promise to continue bringing quintessential conversation that would always pique your interest. Glad to be back.
Nice. Quintessential.
I choose not to feel defeated. Anyway, welcome guys. Happy to be back. Looking forward to an exciting episode again today.
All right, great.
Yeah.
So for those of you watching, if you're not subscribed, feel free to hit the subscribe button so you get new episodes whenever we release them. We do this every week. We publish new episodes. And if you have suggestions of anything you want us to talk about, you can leave a comment below. We always read the comments. So Diaspora, something that usually we try to keep, even though we're here, we try to keep up with what's going on back home in Nigeria. And I think one of our friends suggested this topic, and it's currently in the news right now, which is the ASUU strike going on back home in Nigeria. And for us, this, what impacts people there also impacts us here, because we have friends, family, and people, so for me, I'm not too familiar with this stuff, to be honest. When this was mentioned to me, I was like, what is ASUU? What is ASUU? So I beg, someone explain to me, first of all, what is ASUU?
Okay, I think now I can go first.
You can go.
Yeah. Take it away.
After quintessentially opening the floor.
Yeah, give me a quintessential explanation.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, it's a topic that ASUU affects. If you're school in Nigeria at all, ASUU must have dealt with you in some way or the other, right? So ASUU means Academic Staff Union of Universities, right? It's basically the body that represents all the lecturers and, in fact, all the academic staff in Nigerian public universities. So it doesn't affect private universities. And historically, in fact, I'm sure from my parents' time till now, I don't know when ASUU was formed. I can't remember, but I know that let's even take a statistics from maybe say 1999 to date. Cumulatively, the days that ASUU has been on strike, according to a report by Premium Times, I think in 2021, it's about 4 years. Like they've been on, if you calculate all the days they've been on strike and put it together over the last, since Nigeria attained this current democracy, it's 4 years of students staying at home instead of being in classroom learning. So that's basically it. So
when they're on strike, these are the teachers, the teachers and
lecturers,
professors.
Yes. So there are different ones. There's ASUU. ASUU focuses on the academic staff. Then there's NASU, that's non-academic, maybe like administrative staff. Those ones are under NASU. Then there's another one called SANU. I think that's senior staff. Those are like not academic. They're supposed to be okay. So NASU is like for junior admin staffs, and then SANU is for the senior admin staff. But the one that really impacts, because ASUU is like the force, right? They're the lecturers and them, so they have the biggest effect on the school system. If ASUU is shut down and then NASU and SANU are open, it does nothing because he won't be able to learn anyway. Do you understand? Yeah, so they are like so powerful like that. Yeah.
So when they strike, that means no teaching going on. All the students.
No, you'll be at home now. It's like, but it's a first holiday now. First one. I mean, Otis, you experienced it too, right?
You experienced it, Otis?
Yes. I was just more just give a pragmatic description of what it is. There's nothing for me to piggyback on, other than the perilous time students go through during the strikes. We should look into, probably as we go on in this episode, what are the reasons for the strike. Each time they try to ameliorate the I wouldn't say upheaval, the misunderstanding between the ASUU and the government is just it's like a bit, it doesn't yield any fruitful effort. So it's Nigeria, and it affects it has ripple effect of students graduating. I think Nigeria has a system whereby when you graduate, you go serve the government for a year before you start working. So that affects the time you're going to serve the government, and probably you want to go move abroad for studies. And sometimes you have a plan for yourself that, hey, by this time I'll graduate, I'll get the scholarship. So mostly did go through everything. It's
so it's controlled by the federal government, eh? The ASUU?
No, they're not. It's the schools, like so. I think they are like
it's nationwide, right?
Oh, it's nationwide, yes.
Nationwide, like they strike in the entire country, no matter
what. Yeah, the entire country, yeah. So the thing is, 93, I think about 92 or 93% of Nigerian students are in public universities. So if ASUU goes on strike, you're basically shutting down all the schools. Because private university is a new thing. I mean, like in the last maybe decade, I don't think they take about maybe 7% of the students' force is in private universities because they are more expensive, they are more pricey, and then so that's the issue. But then over the years, I think some schools have pulled out of ASUU, like they've had like rebel, like broken out, like who are tired of this strike, or I don't know the exact reasons why. But I remember then when we were in school, I know Delso Abraka, that's the Delta State University Abraka, and I think University of Ilorin, where like they like broke out of the whole ASUU thing. They had their own. So they were those ones. Most of the time, if you go to those schools, you can graduate on time, right? As against those are. But the problem is that the traditional big weights like all the Unilag, Uniben, all those ones are ASUU. So you know those schools, man, bro. If you're there also, like then we used to joke about it in school. Then I say, if you're in a 4-year course, you're in 4 plus X, where X is designed by ASUU. Right. Wow. So yes, that's how bad it was. So I mean, when I did my course was 5 years, I ended up spending about 6 years because 1 year. First of all, I got to school. Immediately I got to school, they went on strike after 3 months. I was at home for 7 months, and then they just brought us back and said, "Oh, let's just finish this year." And then like that. And then final year again, I think they went on. There were other pockets of strike, 2 weeks. Some can span up to 7 months, 1 year. Some are very short. And then even before I got into school, there was one strike that they now said people that wrote JAM. I think it was supposed to affect you before you traveled now. Like people that wrote JAM the year I wrote and the year after me, they combined those to get into school at the same time because of ASUU strike. So they had lost a year. And then I got to school and 3 months later they went on another strike again. So just imagine how many years you can spend. Plus, say if you're not going to go no book join. So if you don't know books, you're not going to fail. Now your X will increase. So X are ASUU, maybe not 2X, ASUU and failure.
Wow. Damn. Wow. So the latest strike right now, as of this recording, they are currently on strike right now. Right?
Yeah, I mean that's what I read.
What is the usual reasons for the strikes? And do you guys know? Like, is it just pay or?
I'm It's sometimes have to do with autonomy. The university want to control themselves,
Their
and
funding, yeah.
another thing with remunerating funding. So, and I mean, I need to be fact checked, but there was one time there were conversation. The federal government said, if we're funding you, we need to have a little bit of control. And again, since it's federally funded, the tuition it's kind of minimal. It's not like the state schools because there's the federal and the states. The federal school are kind of less expensive to get into. So if the schools go full autonomous, it might be challenging for people to pay the tuition and go to school along with other fees for facilities and all the stuff they have to pay to go through school.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I was going to respond to that. So basically, they have so many issues, right? Most of the time, as Oti said, it's funding, and then that funding, voila. So it's government will sit down with them. They would agree on something. Sometimes government will renegade on the agreement. Sometimes it's ASUU that is doing one thing. But long story short, they're always on strike, right? So it's a big issue, and honestly, it affects people's lives. I mean, that's the bottom line. For
I
me,
can
right?
imagine. Yeah. You plan for a 4-year thing, end up doing 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's-
if you
it's
have
funny
family
how
who's
it's
sending
like-
money, dude, how does that even affect the? I don't know how they charge you, but like if the delay, they will still charge you for the. How does that even work?
What do you mean?
what do
Like
they charge?
Like
maybe
tuition and those things. Like let's say you're paying for hostel, those kind of things. Like you will still.
the tuition stays until the semester is completed.
It's completed.
But
Okay.
however, the rent is paid. Rent is paid yearly over there. Unlike here, we'll pay monthly or pay the mortgage weekly. So you're renting from the tenant. Your lease is a year, and you have to pay upfront. So the landlord or the owner of the apartment complex management company don't care if they strike.
Most times
You
that's
pay
like
it
their
1 year.
business.
So most times, imagine someone having 4 kids that is a parent putting 4 kids through school, and you have to pay that rent, and it's kind of really, really perilous to get money in Nigeria. So imagine you paying that money, thinking this one is going to graduate and be someone in life and try to make fend for himself and try to help his younger siblings. Then he's nowhere.
Yeah. And
So I think you mentioned this before. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you're asking about the charges. I mean, like maybe tuition, and Otis kind of explained something about the rent, right? So yeah, I think it's correct because the rent most times most people don't stay on campus. So the thing is, if you are staying on campus, say for instance you're in the school hostel, then of course it's just like the tuition. It spans the semester or the year, this academic year. But if you are renting outside, like most people do, then I don't think any landlord will actually agree that they went on strike. They want to. I don't. Maybe you can negotiate, but like for where we school, all those landlords they are big. So yeah, you
Why
can
should
definitely pay. Yeah. I don't blame them.
Why should they?
Nobody has said that so on government now, but it affects people and really it's crazy.
So this basically affect. And I think you mentioned this with the private universities. So this basically creates a class system, right? So whereby like people who go to private universities,
Typically graduate within the time.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
You know.
it's true. Yeah, they will most likely get to the labor market before you, and that's
Don't forget
yeah.
the tuition for the private university is
It's so
enormous.
much higher. Yeah, so that's why the private universities can actually afford to charge as much as because they offer you something that public universities don't. So at first, when private universities came out, there was this. It's almost like when you go and get a degree, a certification from maybe on all this online, maybe EDX or something. The way people used to frown at it, that's the way online, like private universities used to be. But it's a thing now because then we used to. I mean, when we were in school, it was a little new. So then we said, man, the equivalent of a first class in private university compared to a second, like maybe a lower mid degree in the public university is different. They don't the experience not the same. And then there was one private university. I don't want to call them for the good source now.
Yeah.
That we used to gossip that their vice chancellor used to flog them, all those kind of funny things. Well, a lot of those things have been proven maybe not true because I've worked with people that attended private universities and bro, they are sharp too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they are intelligent.
I think we're just consoling ourselves that time to console ourselves as far we did as the strike. People they go school. They may not worry. Why great uni bed? Great this one. But you did out to waste your life.
Just a little correlation, a little off topic, because sometimes why people go to this private university, you have a stipulated amount of people going into probably the medical field in a particular institution. So the private university is offering you a spot there, and you're like you're trying hard to get into maybe one of all these federal university, and you look at it, there's incentive. I'm going to graduate in 5 or 6 years, but then again, like most you mentioned, there's prestige going to this federal university, like you're just getting all that.
Well, yeah, that's not a problem that exists here in the United States. Yeah. I'm trying to imagine, like,
it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's a lot. Like, look at it now. There's delayed graduation. There's emotional stress. Like mentally, you check out. I mean, we all live through it. I can remember when I was in first year, right? 3 months in, I think just after the matriculation. I think with the strike is you don't know it's coming. You can just say, "Oh, ASUU don't strike."
Yeah.
Like how? From where to where now? Back then there was no social media. Wasn't like now that your information is on fingertip, right?
Yeah.
So you just be there and just says ASUU don't strike. Maybe you are going to class, you just see one notification or they have closed gates or something. Bro, you just check out, and then the school, I mean the school we went to, right? They expect you. I don't know whether they were thinking that we'll be reading during the strike where we don't know when. I mean, I won't lie you. Then I used to try maybe the first 1 month. After some time, you enjoy yourself, bro. They will just come after. They just say, "Oh, ASUU has called us strike." They just put exam in 3 weeks. Lecturer that has not taught you for almost. I don't think can confirm now. Has not taught you for 8 months or 7 months. We just come and start putting class at 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. Oh yeah, they will just bring everything, start selling the handouts. This one, bro, we're supposed to accumulate that thing and go and pass. Come on, like I don't know why they don't think about it. Also because they want to save the year or one thing. Man, bro, the emotional stress is crazy. And I mean, there's data backing it. I think there was one. I don't know. I can't remember the exact place they got that study from. Like 80% of students say, man, it's emotional. It drives them crazy. Like it's not fair.
Yeah,
I can't even imagine learning like that right now, Seth.
Yeah.
It was really challenging. Probably the semester starts 2 weeks, and that's kind of I think it's a preamble, just preliminary stuff that okay, you're just talking to your friends who just came in, you're not really paying attention to class. Then they go on strike after 2 weeks. Whenever they come back, they're like, "Hey, we got to take the final exams for the semester. How do I know what you're going to teach me?" So we had to, like you explained in one of our episodes, the rigorous. You got to, and it's essay. It's not like multiple choice. That's where multiple choice will be good. You got to describe and draw with the aid of a diagram. Then give the advantages and disadvantages. Dude, how do I even know? It's not like when you graduate from secondary school where they give you what they call the stuff. There's a list of books or whatever that stuff. Then
syllabus, right?
The syllabus, and they give you the list of books you can go study. And for us who did like civil engineer, there are many conventions you could do. You might go study for something that's not relevant to what you're doing. So it's better you just go. You go fail in peace than to study. You go and study, and the stuff does not come out of the test. They are expected to do very well, and there's a turnaround again to go write another exam. I know there are challenging conversations going on with the government and these universities, and both sides are trying to really make educational system better over there. But go ahead, sorry.
So this is frustrating, I'm assuming, for everyone, for the students and also for the lecturers too.
Oh, yeah.
Lecturers, they're not getting paid.
They're not getting paid.
Yeah, sometimes they put that policy, no work, no pay. And then that gets added to the ASUU. So now you see that, okay, first of all, they're fighting for funding. The next thing, when I say, for the time we were striking in 2019, the 6 months salary that people say you're not paying, okay, this new strike includes that new condition. So it keeps getting complex and more complex, and it's just crazy, right? It's crazy.
Even pay them.
So what the saddest part for me is that I left school like what, over almost over 1.5 decade ago, right? Have you? And now in 2025, it's so sad that we're still having this conversation. So what is just said about, oh, maybe they are doing their best, bro? As far as I'm concerned, they're just wicked. Nigeria, the government and the ASUU, they are wicked. Listen, because most of them, you go online and you see people, I'm not going to call names, but you see politicians, you see all this. Most of them, their kids will go to private universities now. Their kids will school abroad. And then the masses will just sit down, go on strike. This one, next thing you say they are lazy youth. Why would they not be lazy when they school that they want to go? You never allow them go. Come on, man. It's sad that we're still having this conversation in 2025. I'm sorry, man. I don't think they're doing enough. That's just my point.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not privy to what the calumny is between the ASUU and the federal government.
It seems it seems like if we take a step outside of the education, it seems like in general there are other sectors that strike a lot too, right? Like,
gas. What is it called?
I think ASUU is not number one. Nupeng is ASUU is the number one striker.
Yeah. Like, I feel like I don't hear about strikes here in the US, man.
Baffling for you, right?
Well, it's not more. Do you remember when the UK in London, when the buses were on strike? That was so. It's not only in Nigeria. They
go on strike in Europe, bro. Yeah,
in Europe.
Okay.
I guess I get you. People go on strike. They strike.
Yeah,
but
it just feels like
we're talking of something. We're talking of something that. Do you know why? How crazy it is when I researched that thing? That since '99. Like,
I saw the message you sent. Almost 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
That's
a whole
graduation period, right?
Yeah.
That's cumulatively 4 years, bro. They're not doing enough. Come on now. They're not doing enough. I'm not privy to the information. I don't. But bro, there should be like we should place put some things on top of our priority list. I mean, ASUU and government need to just stop. It's not fair.
So what's the solution to this? Being here in
Diaspora,
you've experienced
everything's our policy. Everything about policy and accountability. That's my own. Everything is about policy and accountability. You have to sit down sometime and ask yourself, what do you want? Do you understand? Somebody has to be willing to look at it not from the political or the academic. I don't know, it's still political from the ASUU side. Just sit down and say, "Come, what can we do to make sure that this never happens again?" If it's to source funding or whatever, I don't know what you need to do. But again, I'm not in government, right? So I can't say. But my own is that we just have to keep. This is what we're doing now. We're speaking up, right? This is someone like you now is about probably there are other Nigerians, there are other people that encountered this podcast. Like, is this true? 4 years? Because maybe that's a start that nobody has ever
this is foreign. This is
it's crazy,
to me,
right? Yeah. So maybe people start paying attention. Maybe somebody in government might stumble on this podcast and say, you know what? Really, since '99, we've kept children at home cumulative for 4 years. Maybe it can. We're doing our part right now. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Speaking about, talking about.
That's what I was going to ask you. It's like, what do we as Nigerians? You think we have some kind of, what can we do? What responsibilities do we have to influence this education reform?
I want to go to that side of the coin because there are conversations going on in terms of not only remunerations, other things that the university need to provide quality education to the students. Because looking at the curriculum, sometimes I'm like, did it really revise this curriculum? What the quality? Probably those are what the ASUU are fighting for: revision of the curriculum, equipment for the labs, so that it can be international standards, so people from other countries, it will attract people to come to Nigeria to school. So until we know that,
hold on, pause. Do people actually come? I would imagine
they do. Some Nigerians go to Ghana.
No. Do people from outside go to Nigeria to study? Like someone from Ghana?
I've never heard of that, but I heard of people going to Ghana.
I think moving the other way, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, the other way.
Yeah,
there must be, right? Maybe we don't know, but I've heard, like, we know people that go to Ghana and all those other countries, South Africa.
so
I mean, I said in Lagos, a lot of people in Lagos Lagos used to have this foreign student thing then. They say if you're from foreign schools, you come and serve in Lagos or Abuja. And then people that are schooled in Malawi, I mean, with all due respect to Malawi, in case you're from there. They say, when you come University of Malawi, you come Sudan, University of, but like, wait till now. Right? They will say foreign students this side. Nigeria said this side. We will go there look say, now Sudan you go, Baba. I'm like you said that. Yeah, man, don't talk. Man, come slap me.
yeah, so probably in their negotiations, probably this is the kind of stuff. I would like Nigeria to be where we could attract other Africans to come. We have the facilities, we have the equipment, and then again in the workforce, you see most people who go to successful in the job market. It will pique people's interest to like, oh, let me go there. So until we kind of know exactly what they are fighting for. And again, cost, you won't blame them if they're looking for remuneration and other incentives because cost of living is high. So that's about it.
I think the country has a
Because we cannot profile solutions until we know exactly. If we had someone, the guest who's from ASUU and from the government at one point,
we should have had. You should have used your connection to invite one.
Yeah,
we should do that so that we get their point of view on see their negotiations.
We need to start knowing our topic on time. So maybe a few days. Our lecturers will have brought to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I could not want to. I don't want to travel.
You know what? I should have. My dad was a lecturer back in the day. I should have.
And I got his opinion.
Yeah.
Going forward, why baby podcast will get there.
So, what I would imagine, all this strike, it has a negative look on Nigeria as a whole, like Nigeria's global image. Right? This has to be impacting. Do you think it's, or do Nigerians, do they not send, like, the government?
Yeah, it has economic implications. And like they said, and I don't mind this is the devil's workshop, what they say. Like the kids now, because in Nigeria it's kind of different from the US. Most people just go to school, they don't work. Like over here, sometimes you go to school and you work at the same time. So they are just home idle. And they go engage in youthful exuberant activities that will be detrimental to their families, and that's how they join gangs and things like that, because there's no the parents have to go hustle. Regardless, they're going to do it when they're in school, but when they are home doing nothing, how that's one thing about economic implication. Then in the household, mentally draining. It's frustrating that, and then again, it puts pressure. Maybe you're a strike. You see somebody who you guys got into school together. He or she is in the private university. He's going to 3 years, getting done in the next year, and you're still in your first year. It's mentally exhausting, draining. So those are kind of the few implications I can think that it brings. And then again, to the government. During this period of strike, they still pay this, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong, they still go back and pay them for the time they strike. So it's detrimental to the government and the economy.
I mean, the way I see it though, the effect is on Nigeria. There are some effects on Nigeria as a country, and then there are some effects on the Nigerians, on the students themselves, and probably the parents and people like us that we're in diaspora, yes, but you have people that you send money at home. Let's say, for instance, you have, I'm sending money for your rent, and then I sent you for rent. I budgeted in my head, I've paid your rent for the year, and then 6 months in, you have to call me again and say I have to send you more money for rent because you have been on strike for 5 months out of that 6 months, and then you have another 6 months coming up, and your landlord wants assurance that he will get the remaining 6 months. So you want that you will not come and say I paid 1 year, I was on strike. So you too, that's money that's leaving your pocket. That's pocket money, and when they are home, you still be supporting them some way. So it affects us too, and mentally too. You want your relatives, your friends, your people to also keep progressing in life. So that's an effect. But as a country, we are losing people. Nigerians are fleeing to any country at all. Forget the UK, US, any country that, I mean, we talked about it now, that people school in Sudan, Malawi, everywhere, right, all over, which is good, but it's a brain drain, right? Because some of these people actually go and settle. You can actually go meet people, get married, settle, move on. That's someone that probably would have impacted the country, as it were. You are losing real people, real human beings, talent is going. And then another thing we're losing people to, which is kind of a good thing, is content creation, right? Almost every Nigerian young person is on TikTok, again, it's not a bad thing. I mean, we are creating content right now, right? But you have people that probably would have turned out to maybe solve Nigeria's next set of oil and gas problems. They have found themselves on TikTok, they have become big stars, and they're not going back to that. That's people you are losing to another sector, right? And the content creation sector doesn't even necessarily help the Nigerian economy, Nigerian government, because there's not really tax. I know
if you're sick, you're not going to call.
So somehow those companies, like people like TikTok, that take 50% of what you get and all those things, you are not really empowering. So you are engaging the people, right? So maybe crime is going down because but all in all, education-wise, right? We're not the focus. So now it's even hard to sell a dream to a 16-year-old, right? Like, oh, don't worry, just go to school by the time you're 25. If ASUU allow me, even if I read my book, there's no guarantee that I can graduate in 6 years. I can graduate in 4 years because it's dependent on whether ASUU and government are having a nice day or not. So those are the issues affecting, and of course, the quality of education. As I said, we went through it, right? We survived it, but some people didn't. It's not because they're not intelligent, but not everybody can learn in that condition. Why would you tell somebody that you've been on strike for 6 months, you come and say exam is in 2 weeks, and then you should have been reading? Come on, is it that easy? So there are people that fell through the cracks that probably would have been big shots or done big things in their future that we lost because of this kind of issues. And it's so sad that in 2025 we're still doing it. But thank God, again, there's content creation, there are online universities.
I was going to ask next. I'm like, is online university a thing that's popping up now in Nigeria?
Oh, yeah, it's quite big here. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, we went through some resumes recently now, right? So, for one, we're trying to find and you could see a lot of them will tell you University of Manchester degree in XYZ, and you're looking like, most of those degrees are online.
University of Manchester, UK.
Manchester, yes. Even US, I mean, you could see.
So they're taking it from Nigeria. They're offering the program to Nigeria.
You're offering the program online, so yes, you can. Yes, you can fully online. Okay. Yes.
But Harvard offers those kind of programs.
No, but these are foreign universities, not Nigerian.
Not Nigerian
university.
If I can pay, because I trust Nigerian university, they won't charge the world those are for the charge. So if I feel pay, get US degree, I'll come and get that one. I think consign me on Nigerian online. I don't know about Nigerian online. I know the Yabu now. I'm just saying. I just talk say if I see online Nigerian online, if I can do online in Harvard, how will I do online in Mosi University?
In the test, you were still able to do very well at school, even though with the strike. So if you could do well, I know probably book well. I don't know if I'll do greater things here. Maybe. Okay. See, they lost you to brain drain. Now you would have been something in Nigeria. You would have ended the ASUU strike.
That's why they talk. They're not losing that. I never get to go back. Go back. But this is where they talk. This go and save us. But this is the issue. But they're not doing that.
I would love to teach. I would love to lecture one day.
Me too. I think I have a talent for it.
Teaching the engineering. I mean, I have the passion for it. All things being equal, maybe one day.
Yeah.
One day.
Wow. Well, that's sad because I know Nigerians are very big on education. So I'm sad to hear that this is impacting future generations of kids, who. Well,
it's a crazy topic, Abby.
It's crazy,
it's
I don't have any solution.
There's no solution. No solution is just really for us to keep speaking about it, talking about it.
Yeah.
just lend a voice. Sometimes
Yeah.
you don't know how
You're
strong your
talking
party
up. You're talking about it from afar. Why don't you go on ground to
I mean,
campaign?
the world is global now. The world is a global village now.
Yeah.
So our
Yeah, because
podcast is seen
I
all over the
was
world. So
because I was checking Twitter just to see, no, not Twitter, X, just to see like what the people are chatting about. I saw something. It was a little bit funny. Let me see.
I'm already laughing because I know ex people they joke.
Oh,
Oh my
oh,
god.
the thing reloaded. Something like, oh, they're suspending the suspension of the suspending. So,
Yeah, that's the problem. Every time they are doing something, it's crazy.
yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I see. There's a people talking about it on on
Yeah,
Twitter.
it's a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's but here, so there are a few things they can learn, from the U.S. here and other places, because they don't play with education here.
Yeah.
It's sad. Well, any closing thoughts on this before we wrap up?
Um, well, my closing thoughts is um, we all have to be. I think in building society, we all have to contribute. There are things that we have to do to make the society great.
Yeah.
Education is one part of it. It's enlightening, making people aware, learning people. And then again, it's through education I met both of you, right? If I didn't go to school, I would have
Yeah.
met you.
Yeah.
Probably I want to be smart, just maybe in somewhere. Well, it's education is not the absolute thing because what education does is not just to read and write. It brings people together. It brings mind. We all
Yeah.
influence each other with our character and beliefs, our values, our morals, and our ethics. So that's what we cascade down to lower people. So my closing thought is that let's just come together, find solution rather than castigating what or ASUU did this, ASUU did this. We profile solutions, and in as much as we call these things out, we will profile solutions that this is the way we can get it better. How can we maintain an amicable alliance to ameliorate this ongoing strike? And lastly, for me, I want to thank our magnificent audience. Our mantra at Diaspora Charter is to continue to bring you guys quintessential conversation, make our podcast ubiquitous, and we stay clear from any nebulous discussion. Thank you guys. If you haven't liked our post, shared, please like, share with your friends. Our content is our conversations are really enlightening, and you will love it. That's about it for me. That was a lot.
Okay. So yeah. So my closing thought basically, I think, as I said, what we can do our part, and anybody else that's, I mean, you're no more in the system, or you went through the system, or you have people in the system, is to just keep talking about it. Keep lending a voice. Social media is the force, right? Keep bringing out, maybe bring out the facts, like not being on anybody's side, as I am. I'm not on anybody's side. I'm like, they just need to get their acts together.
Yeah.
But for the government, I mean, I think UNESCO has a global standard, right? Where funding for education should be about 26% of the budget. Nigeria is at 8%. So that already tells you something, that our focus is not on the right things, right? So if we focus on our budget and say education budget is 26, we just put an international standard. That's like tripling the current education budget. I'm sure ASUU will even rest for the next 10 years first and say, no. Do you understand? I'm just saying that we are currently at 8%. We're 30%, we're around 8 of 26, right? So we should be at 26. That already shows that even the government is not focusing, it doesn't value education as much as they should, right? So if we push the funding, then have a clear conversation, maybe even make some of these ASUU government negotiations, throw it open, put it in the public space. Sure, you put news people there. Let media have access. Let's hear each side and then know where the problem is and know who to hold accountable. When you're having closed door meetings, nobody knows what. Like now, we don't even know what's happening. We're just going on hearsay. We can only hold two of you responsible and say, guys, you're affecting the lives of our children, of our relatives. Get your stuff together. I don't want to say that word in case it's banned by YouTube. So,
Get your
so that's
ducks
it.
in a row.
Yeah, you know. So it's really important. We need to get our acts together. It's not just. It's really painful that they are posting people's dreams. You know, it's not just semester. They are posting people's lives. You know. Sometimes people should put themselves. It's an appeal. It's a desperate appeal from me. Really, like we just need things to move forward, and that's it.
But you said something about the budget. Now, who eats go fit read book? Oh? So if the budget is 8%, so it's as much as they're competing priorities. Maybe food, hunger, security are kind of paramount as at now. But just saying,
at this
right?
point, you know they defend government. What are you defending them for? It affects me and you like. What are you sure is?
It's trying to run for office.
I don't understand this political. You don't start to the statements again. What are you doing political? Sort yourself out. Full stop. What is that? It's like we don't know this one. I don't understand you. Like say
the government is working assiduously to ameliorate.
No, but really,
ongoing.
No, but honestly, it's not fair. Honestly, it's not fair.
Yeah, I get you, but the percentage they could see security and other challenges better than education.
So you're saying, Otis, you're saying that they have higher priorities. Is that what you're saying?
And they are right about it.
Apparently.
Are you saying they are right about it? That's the question.
I don't have empirical data in front of me to say that, but apparently, if they have it at 8% instead of 26%, the government is working.
Okay, no problem. I mean, that's your own take, and you have your right to your opinion. But to me, though, I mean, I didn't say put it there. I'm like, that's the standard. If you up it and get there, that's even a good start. You know that. That's why we're keeping thousands of children at home because what? Because we have and then you start stealing. You say security is your problem. Sometimes we need to get
it's like a self-fulfilling. You're creating the problem. It's like an endless cycle.
We're not even putting value, and it's crazy, man. But it's okay.
Well, yeah.
Sort themselves out. I don't want to even talk about this again. They should just go. ASUU and government are beg. Will they try?
Maybe by the time we publish this episode, they would have solved it. So hopefully,
only to go on strike again before December. They should solve it once and for all. Not the one they will solve it tomorrow. Not this strike again.
Right. Okay. So if there's anyone watching or listening, if you're currently going through this right now, you can leave us a comment down below. Let us know your experience. If you're a lecturer or someone who's going through this, let us know what you think. What you think. If you're a politician watching this for some reason, let us know how we can help you solve this problem.
Nice.
So that's ASUU. We'll hopefully we don't have to talk about this again and it's solved. Nigeria is a beautiful place. It's our homeland. It's
Nigeria.
Yeah, that's Nigeria. We want to see it better. We want to make Nigeria great. We want to see the country prosper. Even though we're here in diaspora, we visit back home. We have family. We have friends. We want to. When I see how things are structured here, I'm like, man, I wish Nigeria would have that. And it's annoying because some of all these politicians and all these people, they come here, they visit, they see the system,
they enjoy it, and go back to the chaos. When they say chaos is a ladder, so sometimes chaos is a ladder. So sometimes if it's not chaotic, you can't class. So you just keep the people busy chasing ASUU strike, chasing this.
Hope you guys know Rome was not built in a day. And all this stuff, there were a lot of sacrifices.
Why you not go sacrifice in Nigeria with the IAS system? Before you go to the shrine, so you can suffer. You see your life.
They contribute my own share to the greatness of Nigeria.
By encouraging them, they are trying. May you that your school when you go for a year. Is it a strike that time? Because you pay extra dollars that time for school fees. Your part for press con for you is not me bring more money.
I forgot to go back to Nigeria. They say dollar to naira.
You don't say you talk say it okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We don't know the story.
I didn't say that. Don't put words into my mouth. I'm just saying Rome was not built in a day. We will get there. Like our podcast as well.
Ma, see your shit. Better ASUU the right. I be government the right for that shit. Why you don't wear ASUU or go for the Nigerian government? New York.
All right, guys. Good one. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you.
Yep, and feel free to leave a comment and like and subscribe if you're not subscribed, and share this with your friends and family members.
Sure. I beg. Assiduously and quintessentially.
Quintessential, and our purpose is to make the podcast ubiquitous, which means everywhere. Thank you.
All right.
Very good.
Bye.